3 years before the killing begins in earnest, a young woman named Clare arrives at the Venus Motel somewhere after dark, the road behind her empty and the building ahead barely lit. She waits at the front desk in the kind of silence that belongs to places that have forgotten they are supposed to be welcoming. A woman named Shelley appears from behind the counter, steady and unhurried, and asks what Clare needs. Clare explains that she is looking for a room, just one night, and asks for directions to the town itself. Shelley obliges on both counts with the practiced ease of someone who has answered these questions before, who has always answered these questions before. She hands over the key to room 24 and watches Clare walk down the hall. Hours pass. The building settles into its stillness. Someone knocks on Clare's door. A woman's voice asks if Tamara is there. Clare answers through the door that no one by that name is staying with her. The voice retreats. A moment later, the knocking returns. The same question, the same measured calm. Clare opens the door to find the hallway empty. She closes it again and begins to gather her things, moving faster now, her instincts ahead of her understanding. When she turns, the pinup girl is already inside the room. Clare is tied to a chair and left facing the woman behind the mask, who drives a blade into her without ceremony or prelude. Scarecrow watches from the periphery. Whatever bond they share, it does not require words. This is what Venus has always been. The tourists arrive. The tourists do not leave. In the present, Maya is behind a tree at the edge of the road, watching. What she is watching is Scarecrow lifting Shelley's body and loading it into the bed of his truck with the deliberate care of someone who has done this before, who has always known this was how it would end for her. He does not pause. He gets into the vehicle and drives away, and the road becomes empty again, and Maya is still standing. Her injuries are not small. The fact that she is upright is its own kind of violence. She walks. There is nowhere specific to go, only away from where she has been. And eventually she finds a church, the kind of building that has outlasted everyone who once believed in it, and goes inside. The space is dim and very still. She finds a piano. She sits down before it, as though the instrument might offer something the rest of the night has refused her. Gregory appears. He is not wearing the mask. He sits near her in the half-dark and speaks without particular urgency, asking whether she is surprised he found her here. He tells her that this is the only way out of the area and that no one has come to harm her inside this building. He asks about Ryan. He confirms that Shelley is dead. When Maya says Ryan was her fiancé, Gregory absorbs the information and tells her that he has known Shelley since childhood. Since before the masks, before the motel rooms, before the ritual of the knock and the question that no one is ever meant to answer correctly. He listens to Maya insist that what happened to Shelley was not a plan, that she did not come to Venus intending to kill anyone. Gregory considers this. He tells her that since both of them have lost someone, the accounts are now equal. He tells her she is free to go. Before she reaches the door, he asks why she thinks God allowed Cain to kill Abel. She says she does not know. Gregory tells her that perhaps God simply wanted to watch. Maya does not answer. She walks out into the dark. The sheriff receives a report. The ambulance dispatched to the lake house has gone missing, its driver no longer responding. Maya's sister is traveling from Portland and is expected in Venus by morning. The sheriff is already driving. He has been watching this story unspool for years, and he knows the shape of what comes next. He sees Maya standing at the edge of the road and stops his car. He tells her they have been searching for her. She approaches. She can see how badly he is registering her injuries, the way trained professionals catalog damage without reacting to it. She tells him she knows where the masked attackers are, but that she needs to leave Venus first. She asks, quietly, for a first aid kit. Her hand needs attention. When the officer steps out to retrieve it, Maya moves into the driver's seat and pushes the accelerator to the floor. The officer calls Gregory before he has finished watching the car disappear. Maya does not make it far. She loses control and the car meets a tree with a sound that finishes the sentence she has been running from all night. Gregory is there when she comes to, pulling her from the wreckage with a grip that leaves no room for interpretation, binding her, loading her into his vehicle. She is no longer a survivor moving through Venus. She is cargo. Somewhere in Gregory's memory, the past surfaces. A courtroom, a judge, and a boy who had already killed someone before most children have learned what the word means. Shelley had been watching when it happened. The judge acknowledges the violence of the act but allows the sheriff to retain custody of his son, Matthew, the boy who will become Scarecrow, and issues the kind of warning that is really a negotiation. The sheriff takes his son's arm as they leave. He tells him that the first kill has already happened. He tells him the rules. Venus belongs to its people. The ones who bleed must always be from somewhere else. The sheriff has spent years honoring this arrangement. He has covered the disappearances, redirected the paperwork, and treated the accumulating dead as a logistical problem rather than a moral one. Whatever he told himself in the beginning, he has long since stopped telling himself anything. Gregory brings Maya to the sawmill. He forces her to stand at the edge of the machine and watch as Shelley's body is fed into it. The sound the machine makes is not the worst part. The worst part is Gregory's face while it happens. The total absence of performance. The quality of a man doing something that belongs to his grief and to no one else. When it is finished, he knocks Maya unconscious. Debbie arrives at the diner with her husband Howard and their bodyguard Marcus. She shows a photograph of Maya to anyone who will hold still long enough to look at it, and the diner holds itself very still, the way a room does when it is practiced at not knowing things. One woman admits that people have gone missing in Venus before, but always tourists, always people from somewhere else, never locals. She will not say more than that. A restaurant employee named Annie speaks to Debbie privately. She tells her that the sheriff holds every answer she is looking for and that she should follow him carefully. The sheriff goes to the morgue, where his colleague Tommy Walters is waiting. Walters has been connecting the evidence in his own quiet way, and he has arrived at a destination the sheriff cannot afford. He tells the sheriff that he knows Gregory is responsible for the disappearances and that this time the boundary was broken. Locals were harmed. The rules Gregory was given as a child went unobserved. The sheriff does not argue. He drives a screwdriver into Tommy Walters' skull with the same absence of ceremony that characterizes everything his family does. The secret requires tending. He tends it. Maya wakes in Gregory's space. He approaches her slowly, holding Shelley's mask, the pin-up girl mask worn by someone who was not always a stranger, who chose this life from among the other lives available to her. He places it over Maya's face and draws her toward him, not as captured a prisoner, but as something she does not have language for yet, something that carries the shape of belonging and the smell of everything she has survived. Maya does not move. She holds that stillness as a form of calculation. Gregory takes her to the motel. She is wearing the mask now. They locate a couple in one of the rooms, and Gregory gives Maya the instruction she has heard before through other doors on other nights: knock and ask for Tamara. When the door does not open, Gregory breaks through it. He ties the couple to chairs. He stands in front of Maya and waits to discover what she is. She refuses. Gregory kills the man in the chair without raising his voice. In the moment of violence that follows, Maya finds Dollface exposed to a direction she did not expect, and she drives a machete into her before the calculation is fully formed. Dollface falls. Gregory does not rage. He turns toward Maya with a stillness that is more frightening than anger. the stillness of a man who finds her interesting, who has perhaps been waiting for something like this to happen, and guides her toward the woman left living in the chair. The inevitable happens. There is a moment in the past, 12 years prior, that explains how Dollface came to stand in these rooms. A man at a gas station turns his attention to Shelley while his girlfriend watches, and the argument that follows draws the particular quality of attention that young Shelley and young Gregory had already learned to pay to other people's crises. Later that night, they knock on the couple's motel room door and ask about Tamara. The man is already dead when the door opens. His girlfriend killed him for what he did, standing over the body with the look of someone who has crossed a threshold they did not fully understand. Shelley and Gregory recognize her. They bring her in. The mask they give her is the Dollface mask, and she wears it until the night Maya puts it to rest. The sheriff realizes he is being followed. He roots himself to the den, Scarecrow's Den, the lair that has served as the logistical center of everything the sheriff has enabled, and positions himself inside. The officer trailing him enters and finds him there, and before the officer can convert the discovery into action, the sheriff kills him. The den is quiet again. Gregory arrives with Maya. He ties her and goes to address the problem of the RV parked outside, where Debbie and her people have been waiting. What happens next happens quickly. Marcus, the bodyguard, is already dead. The sheriff found him during his sweep of the grounds. Gregory works through the RV with the efficiency of a man completing tasks. He kills Debbie's companion inside. He drags Debbie out into the open air, and he kills her in front of Maya at close range, the distance between sister and sister reduced to the width of a breath. He leaves Maya unbound beside Debbie's body. He and the sheriff move toward the bunker below. Maya does not stay with the body. She waits the necessary seconds and follows. The bunker is lit by whatever light was left on. The sheriff is sitting inside with the quality of a man who has finally run out of road, who has been running something unsustainable for so long that the end of it feels almost like rest. Maya enters with a shotgun. She does not speak to him. She fires twice and he goes down, and Venus loses the instrument of its own protection, and that is the end of 20 years of arrangement. Deeper in, past the room where the machinery is, she finds a space lined with candles and photographs of Shelley. Shelley before the masks, Shelley at various ages, Shelley the way Gregory has been carrying her in his memory since before the killing began. Maya is standing among these images when Gregory enters and sits nearby in the quiet. He tells her that in all the years, across all the people who came through Venus without understanding what Venus was, she is the only one who has ever survived. He moves toward her. He tells her that both of them have lost the person they loved, that the grief they carry is the same weight measured differently, that this shared loss constitutes a kind of kinship, a reason. He reaches for her. He believes, or allows himself to believe, that she is extending toward him, that the space between them is closing in the direction he wants it to close. When he puts his arms around her, Maya drives the blade into him. She walks out of the basement and into the open air, and the night accepts her as it has always accepted her, indifferently, without ceremony. In her hand, she carries Gregory's mask. She took it from him the way you take something from a place you are leaving forever, not as a keepsake, but as evidence. Evidence of what she endured, what she withstood, what the town of Venus cost her to survive. She is not the woman who came here. That woman is somewhere back in the wreckage of the last 3 days, in the church where she played a piano that no one will ever play again, in the room where she watched a woodchipper earn its keep, in the patch of dark road where she made the calculation that brought her all the way down to this moment. She carries the mask and she walks, and the road ahead of her is empty, and Venus recedes behind her. And it will be a long time before she puts the mask down. Whether she ever does is a question the town of Venus has already answered.
Wow, that was weird.